Hey everyone, it's Mr. Wob194. I hope you're doing well today. I have a review here for another Spider-Man comic for the channel. This one is one that I was looking forward to. I bought the first two volumes probably a year ago on my Kindle. And number one, this is volume one of Symbiote Spider-Man. It contains the first 5 issues of this. It's written by Peter David, and it's also the art, or the stenciling, I guess, is done by Greg Land. Now, Peter David, I'm a fan of. But I notice more and more in recent years when he does things like, I think he did the Spider-Man 2099 reboot a few years back, like 2019 or something. That was horrible. After the first volume, it just got worse and worse. Every volume, every issue, and I just hated it deeply. So Peter David's newer stuff, not a fan of. Old stuff, big fan of, like his Hulk work and whatever. Despite me not reading much of that, what I've seen, what I've heard, I really dig. Greg Land's art is fantastic in here for the most part. He doesn't really have much to work with, to be honest with you, but when he tries, it comes out really good. For example, the first issue and first page of the issue looks like this. Yes, that's Mysterio. It looks great. Very good art here. Really dug that. And most of the time, if there was a better script here to work with, I think that Greg could have done even better with this. The coloring looks good. But let me tell you, this is kind of centered around, of course, you know, like the title and the picture here shows, Symbiote Spider-Man. This is taking place right after Secret Wars, despite it being a newer comic. And it's kind of like a kind of side adventures of Spider-Man having the symbiote costume before he really realizes what it is, how it works, how dangerous it is, before Venom was ever created, anything like that. And Mysterio is involved here. And I can't really tell if the book is trying to portray him as truly not as bad as he actually is. I've never read much of Mysterio. I know quite a bit about him from the old 90s animated series and from the Jake Gyllenhaal performance and so on and so on. I'm not a big Mysterio guy, despite being a huge Spider-Man guy. But I do not like the direction they took Mysterio here in the beginning, nor by the end of it. I don't like what they did with him. The involvement of the symbiote and how that works out towards the end of this book, not a fan of that either. There's a whole Black Cat Spider-Man subplot thing in here about their love story, their struggles, and also apparently Aunt May isn't talking to Peter anymore because of just, he's always busy, he's always running away and ditching out on her to meet for dinner dates and whatever, and she's kind of sick of it. She put her hands up in the air and said, forget it, and Peter's trying to make that up to her, and I kind of can relate to Peter in that way. I do think Peter here is pretty good. I enjoy him here. Well written. I think that, you know, Peter David really landed that well here. Now, I'm trying to really think, too, of how to bring up some certain things about this. Number one, the time frame here is pre-9/11. It was super weird seeing Spider-Man swing through New York City and seeing the Twin Towers there. It was so bizarre to me. It's kind of a reference to the first poster for the first Sam Raimi film in a weird way, I think. But the film, or the book itself, excuse me, I've been talking about movies so much recently, I keep forgetting to talk about it as a book. I wish it had a better story. Overall, it kind of sucks, to be honest with you. I think Volume 2 has the chance to improve upon that. This story is kind of secluded to this 5 issues, and thank God for that, because it wasn't that good. I was kind of disappointed overall. I think Mysterio's kind of a disappointment. The Black Cat thing kind of gets in the way too much of the Mysterio storyline. Even the Aunt May thing that I think was more relatable gets in the way of the Mysterio stuff too often. And again, by the end of it, the way that Mysterio is utilized for this story, I'm not a fan of it, to be honest with you. It kind of sucks. It proves a lot of the issues of even good writers like Peter David, who struggle trying to make good content now for places like Marvel, and why people like myself don't buy many modern comics. I bought this because of the title, and because of the costume that I love. It's probably my favorite Spider-Man costume of all time, to be honest with you. And finding out that it's not even traditional symbiote Spider-Man, aside from kind of being right after Secret Wars, it was disappointing, to be honest with you. I don't know what I would have done to improve it, but at least the art was pretty solid most of the time. That's really all I have to say about this book. Symbiote Spider-Man Volume 1 was, it was quite a miss, to say the honest truth about it. I wanted it to be a lot better. I wanted to appreciate it more. I'm hoping Volume 2 will be better, but I doubt it because of what's happening here. I think the series was canceled. I could be wrong about that. I think it came out quite a while back. I don't even know. It doesn't give me any info on my Kindle at the current moment. It says 2019, but I don't know. This ain't that great. I would not be surprised if it got canceled after Volume 2 or Volume 4 or something. I don't know how long the series even ran. Anyway, when it comes to Symbiote Spider-Man, if I had to rate Volume 1 on a 5-star basis, I'd probably give it like a 2 out of 5 stars. Super boring. Just kind of pathetic. After that first issue, you start to really get a grasp on where things are, what's going on, what time frame this is, and it just kind of falls apart from there on, excuse me. What did you guys think about Symbiote Spider-Man Volume 1? Did you love it? Did you hate it? I'd love to hear everything you have to say about it down in the comment section down below. Let me know everything you think about that. Is this the best Spider-Man costume ever? I do think that Greg Land did it justice. I do think that. Very nice. The art, coloring from whoever did the coloring was really good too for that. But aside from that, the book is a big old miss. Not really anything interesting at all, aside from a few small tidbits that keep getting in the way of an actual story, which is always the problem with modern comics in general, DC or Marvel. Too many subplots, too many slice-of-life bullshit stories, and this doesn't have the slice-of-life aspect to it, but too much shit gets in the way of an actual good tale. And I've read a lot of classic comics, a lot of stuff that was coming out in the 2000s, the 2010s, that I really like, but there's stuff like this that just clogs up the drain, dude, and it just... Why? Why do you block off a good story with a bunch of side shit that doesn't make it as good as it could be? Anyway, thank you all for watching, guys. God bless you all, and goodbye.